In last lecture we have discussed elementary properties of the groups, and we have seen the identity element is unique, the inverse of every element is also unique, and we have seen cancellation law holds in the group. Also we have seen uniqueness of the solution of ax is equal to b or y a is equal to b, this type of equations. Now let us see some other things in the group. So first of all we define some notations. Say let n belongs to n. N belongs to n. Okay, let me go in this way. Let A be an element of G, and G is a group, and G is a group. So A dot A will be again element of G, but I will denote, we denote A dot A is equal to A square. We write A dot A is equal to A square. Similarly, A dot A dot A, this will be again element of G. So we will write A dot A dot A is equal to A cube. So in short, for n belongs to n, n is a positive natural number. So A raised to n means what? It is A dot A dot A dot and so on A, n copies. So A raised to n means A dot A dot A dot A n times, means n copies. So this is just notation, and we are familiar in the real system, real number system, that we means 2 cube means 2 times, where dot is a multiplication, and here this dot is what? This dot are what? It is a group operation. It is a group operation. So for example, so let me consider R star with multiplication. So this is a group. So if I consider 3 belongs to R star, then 3 raised to 4 means what? 3 dot 3 dot 3 dot 3. So this dot is what? My usual multiplication. So this is what? Multiplication. And that multiplication is what? Which is on group. Okay, now if I consider, you consider Z with addition, so this is also a group, abelian group. Now you consider 3 belongs to Z. 3 is an element of Z. Now what do you mean by 3 raised to 4? So again it is what? It is 3 3 3 3, 4 times 3, but here we have some operation, and that operation will be what? That is a group operation. So it is plus plus plus. So here when we work in Z plus, and if we have like this 3 raised to 4, so it means it is 3 3 3 3 4 times when we are working in the group with respect to group. Otherwise we make what? 3 raised to 4 is 81. 3 raised to 4 is 81, but it is not 81, it is 12. So instead of writing this, it is convenient to write it is 4 into 3. So here we have two things. So see here we have two things. So our group G, and suppose our group has a operation of multiplicative type. In that case we write A raised to n is what? a dot a dot a and so on a. But if we are working with group say G with and its operation is addition type, its notation is addition type, then instead of writing a raised to n, it is same as n a, and na means what? A plus a plus and so on plus a. This is n copies or n times. So whenever group is of addition type, a raised to n means a plus a n times, and when a group having operation of multiplication type, then it is the a dot a dot a dot a. So these are just notations. Now one more thing, in a group you consider a belongs to G, and G is a group with multiplicative type notation, and a belongs to G. So a inverse will be also in G, inverse of the element. Now a raised to minus 2, this means what? This means a raised to minus 1 and it's a square. So we consider a raised to minus 2 is what? A inverse square. And we know now a inverse is an element of G, and we know some element of G raised to some power, it means what? A inverse into a inverse. So a raised to minus 2 means a raised to minus 1 dot a raised to minus 1, a inverse into a inverse. Similarly, a raised to minus 3 means what? A raised to minus 1 cube, and this is what? A raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1. So these are just notations. So we will consider all these things as definition. So let us write all these things in terms of definition. Definition. Let G dot be a group. Let A belongs to G and n belongs to n. Positive integer n belongs to n. Then first thing, a raised to n is what? A dot a dot a dot and so on a, n copies. Second thing, a raised to minus n. See here n is already positive, but I am considering a raised to minus n. So a raised to minus n will be a raised to minus 1 dot a raised to minus 1 dot a raised to minus 1 dot and so on a raised to minus 1. So again these are n copies or n times. Okay, one more, let us put one more note. If the operation on G is of addition type, that is like G with plus, in that case a raised to n, it is what? A plus and so on a, of course n times. So we will write it is n a. So a raised to n means na when our group is of the form G plus. Okay, and we can talk about a raised to minus n also in the same case. So this is my first thing and this is second thing. So a raised to minus 1 means what? It is a raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1. Okay, second thing, let me write, I will use a raised to minus 1 is what? Minus a. I will write inverse of a like this when our group is of addition type. For example, in Z plus is our group, R plus, Z plus, C plus, Q plus, all these are groups. So in that case, suppose I consider 2 belongs to Z, then what do you mean by 2 inverse? 2 inverse is what? Minus 2. So 2 inverse is minus 2. So in the same way, if my group, any group, and my operation is of addition type, in that case inverse is denoted by this way, minus a symbol. So if I consider this, then a raised to minus n will be what? It is a raised to minus 1 raised to n. A raised to minus n is what? A raised to and I can write here in previous definition here a raised to minus 1 n times. So a raised to minus n is a raised to minus 1 n times and a raised to minus 1 n times. So here a raised to minus n is a raised to minus 1 n times. So this is what? A raised to minus 1. Now some element raised to n means a n times with additive notation. So here a raised to minus 1 n times in G plus means a raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1 and so on, a raised to minus 1 n times, but with additive notation. So with additive notation. But a raised to minus 1 we just write it is what? Minus a. So minus a plus and so on, plus minus a n times. So a raised to minus n means minus a n times. So these are some basic notations of the group. Notations in group. Now let us consider one problem or some results in group. Example, let G be a group and A belongs to G and you consider N belongs to Z. Okay, so in that case you prove that first a raised to m into a raised to n. Now if n belongs to Z, then n may be positive integer or negative integer. Suppose n is equal to 3, then we know what is a cube is what? A dot a dot a. And suppose n is equal to minus 4, then a raised to minus 4 means what? A raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1, a raised to minus 1 4 times, as we have seen. So a raised to m dot a raised to n, so that will be what? So that is what? You can prove that it is a raised to m plus n. You can prove this. And second thing, a raised to m raised to n is what? A raised to m dot n. So you can prove these two results by using principle of mathematical induction, PMI. So you prove this by PMI. So I give this problem into homework. You use principle of mathematical induction and then you can use it. So it is similar like our school level algebra, that if your base is same, then indices will be added, and power to the power, then power will get multiplied. So we have this liberty in group theory also, but you have to careful about that. A raised to n means a n times, but the operation is whatever the operation on G, and simply we write G is a group. In that case, operation is always dot, and dot may be anything. Maybe it may be addition or usual multiplication or anything, whatever. It depends on the elements of the group and what kinds of elements are there, and operation is always given. So I give this example in the homework, you prove these two examples. Now I will use these two things. So it is very simple exercise, but let me give you some hint. So first of all, you prove for n is equal to 1, then you go for n, assume that n equal to k and prove that n is equal to k plus 1, then result will be proved for positive integer. Then you consider your integer is suppose negative, and suppose n is negative integer, then it can be always written as n is equal to negative m for some m belongs to n, and you use the previous part, and then you can prove this result. So okay, so suppose again let me put remark. Okay, so let a belongs to G, then a raised to 0 is identity. You consider any element of G, then its 0 power is always identity. Whenever we get some group element raised to 0 power, then it will be identity. How it is? So what is its justification? So we know that a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to what? A raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. Now you take m is equal to 1 and n is equal to minus 1. M equal to 1 and n is equal to minus 1. So what I get? A raised to m, no need to write 1, into a raised to minus 1 is equal to what? It is a raised to 1 plus minus 1, and that is what? A raised to 0. But element into its inverse is identity, so a raised to 0 is identity. And what is a? A is any element of group, so any element of group raised to 0 power is always identity. And it is and we are familiar in school level that you consider r star with multiplication, then any real number, say any real number x belongs to r, then x raised to 0 is 1. But 1 is what? 1 is the identity element of r star. 1 is what? Identity element of r star. So any element raised to 0 is identity. So in group we have some notations and some results. Now let us prove one more property, or let us put this property in terms of example. Let G be a group. Let A and B be two elements of G. Let n be a positive integer, n belongs to n. Then so that if AB is equal to BA, then first thing, AB raised to n is equal to B raised to n into A, and second thing, AB raised to n is equal to A raised to n, B raised to n. So this is one simple example See what it says. Let G be a group and you take two elements A, B in G. Let n belongs to n. N is some positive integer. Then show that if this AB is equal to BA, so this is given. So what is given? AB is equal to BA. Then you prove two things, these two things. AB raised to n is equal to B raised to NA, means A and B to the power n and B to the power n and A are commute. See, I have given only A and B can commute. AB is equal to BA, means A and B can commute. But if AB and BA commute, then first thing says that you consider B to the power any power A, then that will also commute. So I want to prove this thing. Then it says that AB raised to n is equal to A raised to n, B raised to n, means you can distribute n power to both the elements. It is not true always. See, suppose AB square, and suppose if I don't have any information like AB equal to BA, that it means what? It is C square. It is C square, where C is what? Where C is equal to AB. So C square means what? C into C, as we have seen. Some element raised to power means what? That element, that n times. So here C square, so it is C into C. So it is what? Simply AB, and we are working in group, so we have A, B, like this. Nothing more than this. So if you have no information about AB is equal to BA, then you can't do anything here. You can't write this is equal to AB if you have not given this. If you have given this, then you can switch this BA by AB. Otherwise, you can't switch it. So you can't give, so A, B. So you do not have this step. If it is not given, if it is given, then we have that step. And once we have this step, then it is A square B square. So AB square is equal to A square B square. So if this condition is not given, then we can't write this. So if you have this, then you can have this thing. So let us prove all these things. So how we prove? So let me give the guidelines for that, and then I will write it systematically. So let me just first of all, so let us prove first what. So let me say Pn is equal to AB raised to n is equal to B raised to Na. Now we will use PMI. For n is equal to 1, it will be what? AB, n equal to 1 is equal to BA. So which is true because it is given. Now assume that for n is equal to k, so it is AB raised to k is equal to B raised to Ka. Now for n is equal to k plus 1, so we assume this. So AB raised to k plus 1, what I need to prove? It should be B raised to k plus 1 into A. So this is what? A, and I can write it is a B into B raised to k, or B raised to k into 1. Just A raised to m plus n is A raised to m into A raised to n. So I can split this power k plus 1 by k and 1 by laws of indices, as I have given in the homework. So it is what? It is like this. A. Now we are in group, so we have associativity. So you club these two things. Now AB raised to k is B raised to Ka into B. So now again you use the associativity. So B raised to k into AB. Now AB equal to BA, so it is B raised to k into BA. Again use the associativity. So repeated use of associativity and laws of indices, you have B raised to k plus 1 into A. So AB raised to k plus 1 is B raised to k plus 1 into A. So it is simple principle of mathematical induction. You can prove this, and once we prove this, we can prove this thing also similar way. So let us write systematically. So given that AB belongs to G, N belongs to N, and AB is equal to BA. Let Pn is AB raised to N is equal to B raised to N into A for all N belongs to N. Now for N is equal to 1, we have AB is equal to BA. N equal to 1, you take N equal to 1, then AB equal to BA. So which is true? Which is true as it is given. So this is true. So therefore P1 is true. Now assume that Pk is true for k belongs to n. Suppose Pk is true for k greater than or equal to 1. Then A B raised to k is equal to B raised to k times A. Say this is result number 1, and this is said this is true for all k greater than or equal to 1. So say this is result number 1. Now for n is equal to k plus 1, we have A B raised to k plus 1 is equal to what? A dot B raised to k into B. We can split this. Okay, so now by associativity it is A dot B raised to k into B. I can club this to A and B raised to k. Now this is what? A B raised to k. A B raised to k is B raised to k A. So it is B raised to k times A, because by 1 or Pk is true. So this gives me what? This is equal to B raised to k into A into A B. Again you club A and B by associativity. You can club this through. So this is what? B raised to k into BA, because AB is equal to BA, it is given. So again use the associativity. So B raised to k into B into A, because it is associativity. And this is what? B raised to k plus 1 into A. So what I have here? AB raised to k plus 1 is equal to B raised to k plus 1 into A, and to prove this I have used 1. 1 means Pk is true. So thus P of k plus 1 is true. Hence by PMI, principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. So we prove our first part. Now we will prove the second one. AB raised to n is equal to A raised to n, B raised to n. So now to prove second part, second, AB raised to n is equal to A raised to n, B raised to n for n belongs to n. So again you take Pn. Pn is what? AB raised to n is equal to A raised to n, B raised to n for all n belongs to n. This is my statement. Now for n is equal to 1, what I have? AB raised to 1 is equal to A raised to 1, B raised to 1. So which is true? Yes, that's fine. It is AB equal to AB. I can always write AB equal to AB. So therefore P1 is true. Now assume that Pk is true for k greater than or equal to 1. So what I have? AB raised to k is equal to A raised to k, B raised to k for all k greater than or equal to 1. So now for n equal to k plus 1, what we have. So let us see. AB raised to k plus 1 is equal to AB raised to k into AB. I can always split k plus 1 as k, and this is 1, no need to write 1 power. So AB raised to k into AB by laws of indices. Now AB raised to k is A raised to k, B raised to k. So it is A raised to k into B raised to k into AB. Because by, let me say this is a 2, so by 2. In part 1 we have given equation 1, so I am using label 2. So now you use associativity, so A raised to k, B raised to k into A into B. So by associativity, because we are working in group and associativity holds, so I can club B raised to k and A. But B raised to k into A is what? AB raised to k if AB equal to BA, as I proved in the first part. So this thing is what? A raised to k into AB raised to k into B by part 1. So in part 1 I have proved that if AB equal to BA, then B raised to k into A is AB raised to k. So now again use the associativity. So now you club these two things and two things. So again this is by associativity. So this is what? It is A raised to k plus 1 into B raised to k plus 1. So A raised to k plus 1 into B raised to k plus 1. So AB raised to k plus 1 is A raised to k plus 1 to B raised to k plus 1. So therefore PK plus 1 is true. So hence Pn is true for all n belongs to n. So if A and B commute, then you can distribute the nth power AB raised to n to individual element. You can always distribute these two powers. So otherwise in general you cannot distribute n power to both the elements separately except n is equal to 1. Suppose AB is square, then it is not A square B square if it is not AB equal to BA. See, in case of matrices we know that suppose I have A and B, two are matrices, right, and then AB square is not equal to A square B square always. It is not always true. See, if AB is equal to BA, if A and B, these two matrices commute, then it is what? AB square is equal to, you can write A square B square. If you have not this information, whether AB equal to BA or AB is not equal to, you suppose you don't know about AB and BA, then AB square is what? It is just AB, not more than this, or further you can do this thing, not more than this. But AB and A and B commute, then you can distribute power separately, but positive power. And you can also separate the negative power, so that you can prove this result is also true for n belongs to Z if AB is equal to B. Now let us give me one definition. A group G is called a finite group if cardinality of G, and this is called cardinality of G is finite. Cardinality means what? Number of elements. Roughly speaking, cardinality means number of elements in the set. Cardinality of set means number of elements in the set. So if cardinality of G is finite, then we say that our group is finite group. Otherwise, G is called an infinite group. Otherwise, G is called an infinite group. So let us see some examples. You consider Z plus Q plus R plus C plus. So all these are infinite groups. See, number of elements in all these sets are infinite. So these are examples of infinite groups. You may consider this GL2R. This is also infinite group, GL2R. Now let us see some examples of finite group. See, Zn with multiplication modulo n, then Un with multiplication modulo n, then nth root of unity with usual multiplication. So all these are what? Are finite groups. So these are finite groups. So roughly, in the simple way, what do you mean by finite group and infinite group? You have a group, then you have a set. Now you look at the set. If number of elements in the set are finite, then it is called finite group. And if number of elements in the set or group is infinite, then it is called infinite group. Now let us give one more definition. Let G be a finite group. Then number of elements in G is called order of the group. Is called order of the group, and we denote it by OG, or sometime like this, cardinality of G. So if you have a group, your group is finite, then you look at the number of elements in the group. So whatever the number of elements in the group, that is called the order of the group, and it is denoted by OG, or cardinality of G. It is not determinant. It is just notation like determinant, but it is not a determinant. It is it read as cardinality of the group. So let us see some examples. For example, see, you consider Z phi with addition modulo phi. So what is your Z phi? So Z phi is what? Is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here order of Z phi is what? Phi. Order of Z phi is phi because there are 5 elements. Similarly, you consider let G is equal to 1 minus 1 I minus I. So this will be a group. This G will be a group with usual multiplication of complex numbers. So then here order of G is what? 4, because there are 4 elements in the group. So order of G is 4. So suppose if you have a group which contains n elements, then its order is n. So for example, you may consider Zn with addition modulo n. So in Zn what we have? Zn we have 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1. So order of Zn is what? N. So like that. So finite group means what? You consider the group, then you look at the number of elements. If it is finite, then the group is called finite group, and number of elements in the group is called order of the group. Now let us see one result. Proposition. Let G be a group of order n. Let G be a group of order n. For A belongs to G, there exist less than or equal to n such that A raised to R is equal to identity. See, so there exists no need to give me this bound, let me remove this bound. There exists R less than or equal to n such that A raised to R is identity. See what this proposition says. You start with a group G, and group has order n, means it is a finite group. Now you take any element A belongs to R, then you always find some R which is smaller than n, means it is a smaller than the order of the group, so that that power R of A will be identity. And here see A raised to R means what? It is A and so on A. How many times? R times. So this element will going to be identity. This product will be reduced to identity. So this theorem gives me the guarantee that if you have finite group of order n, you take any element A, then you always find some R which is smaller than order of the group, so that that power of element is going to be identity. And this is true for every element. Yes, if you consider some another element B, then this R may be different. For another element C, that R may be different or may be same. So it depends on the element. But for every element, definitely you will get some R, so that A to the power is identity. So let us quickly prove this. Proof. Let G be a group and order of G is equal to n. Let A belongs to G. You consider one element in G. Now you consider A raised to 0, A raised to 1, A square, A cube, A raised to 4 and so on, A raised to n. So I have started with 0 power of A, and A raised to 0 means what? It is identity. This element is what? Identity. So A raised to 0, A raised to 1, A square, A cube and so on, A raised to n. Now okay, so all these elements belongs to G. A in G, so A square is also in G, A cube is also in G, like that A raised to n is also in G. Now G has n elements and above sequence of element has n plus 1 elements. So see, it is 1 to n, so these are n and a raised to 0, that is n plus 1. So these are n plus 1 elements in G, and G has already n elements. G contains only n elements, and here we say that this n plus 1 elements are in G. So this means what? So therefore there exists some I and j. So let me say I less than j, I and two distinct element n, such that what happened, a raised to I is equal to a raised to j to some powers. It may be a square and a raised to 5. These two things are equal. At least two elements must be equal. Then and only this thing happened, because these are n plus 1 element and this structure contains only n elements. So n plus l elements is in the set having only n elements. So this it happens, some elements are repeated. So let me say at least two elements repeat. So that let me say a raised to I and a raised to j are same. So then what happens? So let us see. So now you look at my j is bigger, right? So you look at a raised to I into a raised to minus j. You consider this thing, a raised to I into a raised to minus j. So this will be what? Or let me start with the identity. You consider, say, a raised to I into a raised to minus I. You may consider this. So a raised to I into this is what? It will be identity. A raised to I into a raised to minus I. This will be what? It will be identity. So now I can write a raised to I is what? A raised to j. Let me write in this way, a raised to j, because say this is say 1 by 1 into a raised to minus I, but this is what? A raised to j minus I. By laws of indices, base are equal, so you can add. So now what I have, it is a raised to r, say, where, okay, let me write in this way. Now you let j minus I is equal to r. Then see, I is strictly less than j, and I and j lies between 0 to n. So j minus I will be definitely less than or equal to n. So then j minus I is equal to r, which is less than or equal to n. Thus a raised to j minus I is equal to e implies a raised to r is equal to e. So what we have proved? So for given a belongs to G, there is some r which is less than or equal to n, such that a raised to r is identity. This happened in any finite group of order n. So this is very important observation, that if your group is finite of order n, then for every element a you can always find some r which is smaller than the order of the group, so that that power of the element is identity. So with this preposition we have some new terminology and new concept, and it is very important concept in the group theory, and that is order of the element. We have already discussed the order of the group, but we have also concept of order of the element. So we'll discuss order of the element in the next lecture. So we stop this lecture here. Thank you.